YouTube, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the show. Turn up your volume. You're not going to want to miss this because what just happened with Trump, China, and XRP, guess what? It is way bigger than most people even realize. This isn't just another headline here. This is a shift in the global financial chessboard. And if you're holding XRP, this could be the moment that everything flips. Here's the deal. Trump just confirmed a 130% tariff on China, which is going to be effective November 1st. Plus, we have a new export restrictions on key US software. At first glance, this sounds like Trade War 2.0, but look deeper. The timing, the players, and what's moving behind the scenes, it all tells a different story. This is about control of global liquidity, blockchain dominance, and the fight for financial sovereignty. And XRP, it's sitting right in the middle of it. Stay locked in because in this video, I'm breaking down how Trump's latest move could accelerate XRP's global adoption, why Morgan Stanley and BlackRock are suddenly flipping bullish, and the one name that is quietly linking Wall Street, Washington, and Ripple together. I hope you're ready. Let's zoom out for a second and connect the dots, folks. Every time the markets look uncertain, people panic. But smart money, they zoom out. Look at the macro picture, right? Geopolitics, trade policies, monetary tightening, all converging at once. It's chaos on the surface, but underneath, it's coordination. Central banks are restructuring the way value moves. Tokenized settlements, cross-border payments, central bank digital currencies. And who's built to power that? Ripple and XRP. So while everyone's watching the price charts, institutions are watching infrastructure. You see this move here on your screen. If we really zoom out on it, our move started around 50 cents. And where did we get? Well, the meat of the candle got it right around $2.50. The exact same region we are sitting at. You start to see a pattern when you take a step back. Every global stress event, tariffs, inflation, rate hikes, push us closer to blockchain rails. Every single one of them. Now, speaking of stress events, let's talk about the bomb that Trump just dropped, right? Here it is. So Trump confirmed a 130% tariff on China effective November 1st. First, with the new export restrictions on critical US software. This isn't just about trade. This is about technological leverage. The US is locking down control over the software that powers AI, blockchain infrastructure, and digital financial systems. Think about that for a second. Software is the new oil. So by hitting China hard right before election season, Trump is sending two signals. One, the US is preparing for economic decoupling. And two, he's reasserting control over digital value pipelines. Now this media, they're going to spin this, as instability. They're going to cause fear in the markets. But to those who understand markets, this looks like strategic positioning before a major liquidity reset. And the irony of it all, these very tariffs, this is what's fueling the next global money shift. Because just days later, he hinted something big is about to change. Now, folks, down in the description of this video, you will find a link to book a one-on-one call with me. During those calls, we talk about all of this. We break down tax strategies, dollar cost averaging. What are we doing when the bull run comes to an end? Taking profits, LLC setups, OTCs, and how you should be taking advantage of them. You're going to want to click the link down below and get a call booked. And after Trump dropped that tariff bomb, we get the news. How funny is it? Markets crumble, a lot of fear, and then we get news that he's probably going to meet with President of China, and he hinted that things may change soon. The turnaround that we have seen within the past, not even 24 hours, it's been more like 12 hours since it all went down, right? This is your classic move. They use fear to shake the markets. Then they dropped a soft pivot to calm the narrative. Meanwhile, your insiders, they all got repositioned. And retail, they took their bags and they hit the door. It's the same playbook we saw before the March 2020 liquidity event, and again before the ETF's approvals. Here's likely what's happening. Behind the scenes, trade tension is being used as cover for restructuring the global payments network. Both the US and China, they are exploring digital currency interoperability, and Ripple's tech, well, it sits right in the middle of that bridge. So when Trump hints at things may change soon, he's not just talking about the policies that are going on here, right? He is giving us the signal of a monetary recalibration. And that's where the Clarity Act comes in. Everyone thinks that crypto regulations is about investor protection. It's not. It's actually about national security. The Clarity Act here, it's not optional. It's invertible, right? Because whoever defines the regulatory framework defines who controls digital liquidity. And in a world where China is rolling out the digital yuan globally, the US needs a regulated, compliant, real-time settlement asset, something that can bridge traditional finance and digital systems. That is what we call XRP.
One might think, well, do we need a market structure bill when we have regulators that are now using their powers for good, right? Or that's a joke, but that are using their powers to say, hey, we actually might not need a market structure bill. Maybe we have the authorization, which I think has been Paul Atkin's position. But what Jason brought out into high relief is that we don't have the law. And what we do have in the courts, Ripple having been a split decision, right, where certain of the transactions involved transactions in securities, and other cases like Library and others. So it's not all, if something goes to a court, and of course we still have plaintiffs' lawyers bringing suits and alleging, things that we think the SEC has moved on from. And so I do think that it is important that we don't ever, maybe that's a little too strong, but that we don't accept just yet the possibility that we don't get a market structure bill and just put it all on the regulators, because we've still got plaintiffs.
So the same tech that Ripple built years ago to move value instantly across borders, it's now a strategic weapon. And the people driving that shift, that's not just random. They're Wall Street veterans who's been waiting for this exact moment. Speaking of which, let's talk about someone most people overlook. That is Zoe Cruz. Most retail investors, they have no idea who she is, but institutions, they know her name very well. She spent over 25 years at Morgan Stanley, rising all the way to co-president, managing over $1 trillion in assets. She served on the Harvard Dean Council, the Bowdoin College Investment Committee, and now runs Mania Financial Group, a digital asset management firm. But here's the kicker. She also served as a senior advisor and board member at Ripple. That means one of Wall Street's most powerful women, someone who literally helped shape global finance, is now sitting at the intersection of traditional banking and blockchain. This isn't random. It is coordination. And when you see who's moving next, it becomes crystal clear, because Morgan Stanley announced that they unlocked the $1.3 trillion in capital for Bitcoin and crypto investments. No more restrictions, any client, anytime. This is how the game flips quietly. Institutions, they don't chase hype, everyone. They build the infrastructure. They wait for clarity. And then the flood, well, they flood in once the rails are ready, and those rails are almost ready. And remember Zoe Cruz from Morgan Stanley, right? Do you see the thread here? Do you see how this is all tying together? The same minds that built Wall Street are now rebuilding the financial system, but they're using crypto rails. And they're not doing it for retail trade. If you're still on the sidelines waiting for that perfect entry, well, you're already behind. Because while the crowd waits for price confirmation, the system, it's being reprogrammed in real time. And don't forget this, because 2 weeks ago, Eric Trump, he told you Q4 is going to be unbelievable for crypto.
Crypto solves all of these problems, and I've fallen in love with it. I think it's incredible. It's growing faster than the internet. grew, and we're on the 1 yard line of cryptocurrency, and the future is incredible. The future is bright. The future is incredible. And I think fourth quarter of this year is going to be unbelievable for a host of reasons. So I'm super excited.
How do you think Bitcoin's going to go?
I've always said that I think in time, Bitcoin surpasses $1 million.
So right after this, what did we just see? The single largest day liquidation event in history. It wasn't coincidence, everyone. It was a shakeout. The goal to wipe out over leveraged positions, drain liquidity, and reset the board before the next leg up. It's what institutions do every time before a major breakout. So while everyone's out there panicking, thinking that the bull run is over, the people who understand these macro cycles, they're quietly stacking. Because when politics, regulations, and liquidity all align, that is when the rocket takes off. Speaking of rockets, while fear spread across retail, BlackRock just scooped up $74 million worth of Bitcoin. I want you to let that sink in for a second. Retail is scared, shaking in the boots, and BlackRock is out there buying the blood in the streets. The biggest asset manager on planet with over $10 trillion under management, they're buying while everyone else is getting liquidated and selling. That's not speculation. That is strategic accumulation. Institutions like this, they aren't scared of volatility. They are used to it. And when you pair that with Morgan Stanley unlocking $1.3 trillion, Trump resetting global trade, and the Clarity Act moving through Congress, the writing's on the wall. And it's crystal clear. This isn't just a bull market. This is the monetary reset, and XRP, Bitcoin, and a handful of other assets are about to benefit from the largest liquidity migration in modern history. So let's zoom out for a second here. Let's connect all of these dots, right? Trump's trade war, it's not about trade. It's about control of digital assets. Ripple, they're not just a payments company. It's a strategic bridge asset for global finance. And institutions like BlackRock and Morgan Stanley, well, they're already positioning for what comes next. And trust me, they know what comes next. This isn't FOMO. This is reality. The game, it just shifted. And the ones who are paying attention now, like us, we're going to own the future. If you got value from this breakdown, do me a favor, smash that like button. Drop me a rocket emoji down below in the comment section. And make sure you subscribe to the channel because these next few weeks, they're going to be historic. And you know what? I'm just getting started.